What's going on, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 4 in my 9th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with day number 4, I was feeling a little Italian today. I wanted to dip into some Italian horror, so I decided to go with The New York Ripper from the year 1982. Of course, the Lucio Fulci directed New York Ripper. I have it here on the glorious 4K Ultra HD version here from Blue Underground. I did just buy the 3-disc Blue Underground version of The New York Ripper, so I'm not super happy about that. But I've lately been getting into the 4K game and I really like it, so I had to upgrade and support the Blue Underground release. Luckily, the next couple releases aren't titles that just came out on that 3-disc. We got Daughters of Darkness coming up, as well as Vigilante, and I think Fire and Ice. But alright, let's get into The New York Ripper. I've reviewed this before. I've watched it a handful of times. The very first time I watched it, I thought it was an okay slasher giallo. The second time I watched it, I liked it a little bit more. And now this is the third time I'm watching it, which I just watched this like less than a year ago, so it's still pretty fresh in my mind. But I wanted to check out the 4K. Transfer is amazing, by the way. Anyway, this film opens up in New York where a severed hand of a woman was found, and a detective starts investigating it. He soon enlists the help of a college professor who's specializes in like psychoanalyst to build sort of a case on this guy to try to figure out who he is and like what makes him tick. There's more people that start getting picked off. They dub this killer the New York Ripper, and it's a giallo, so detective narrative with slasher killings throughout. So Lucio Fulci's The New York Ripper. I think the first time I watched it, I was a little confused. There are a decent amount of characters that are introduced. We have the lead detective, and then, you know, his prostitute girlfriend that he hooks up with. Of course, the professor, as well as this young girl and her boyfriend. We also have a woman who's in an open marriage and her husband, and then a a suspect that they think is the killer, who's a drug addict and, you know, a porn addict and stuff. So there's kind of a little bit going on here. And first time I watched it, like a lot of giallos, I was kind of confused because characters just come in and sometimes they're killed off like in a slasher film, but sometimes they stick around. So you're kind of like, okay, whatever. But watching it a couple times now, I completely get everything that goes on in the film. There's some questionable things, you know, stuff that you might question in terms of plot, especially the reveal of the killer and the motive behind it. I'm not 100% on board with that. But what really works in The New York Ripper is, one, I really like the setting, and two, the sleaze and gore. It's very sleazy, super sleazy. There's a lot of full frontal female nudity in this film. There's a lot of gore. There's actually a elongated segment of a toe molestation, I guess. This guy sticks his toe in a woman's crotch, and there's a pretty long scene of that. People kind of know that scene. You know, it's kind of funny in a way, you know. It's just ridiculous. And then there's some decent kills. There's like a glass bottle to the vagina. There's, you know, a couple straight razor kills, a great eye slice that, honestly, you know, I've always thought it looks good, but in 4K it might look a little too good because you see everything and like how it's all working and stuff like that. But whatever, I'm a fan of special effects, so I appreciate seeing that anyway. You know, seeing how it works, but it still works the first time you see it. You know, you're not looking at all the edges, you're just kind of looking at what's happening. It's a fun movie. The killer quacks. He talks in this like quacky voice, which is some people find annoying. I think it's pretty cool. It works for me. Lucio Fulci, not my favorite Fulci film, but it's up there. I think that this one kicks ass. It's a pretty good Fulci film, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I recommend picking up the 4K if you don't own it already. I think it's pretty good. So with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow with day number 5. Peace.